Hey guys, how you doing? This is Andrew Sims with the Sims Consulting Group, and I know you haven't seen me for a couple of weeks. Been kind of doing some end of the year planning, setting up some meetings, man, that we had to go up and shore up some contracts and things that are going to extend into 2022. So that was a little bit of the reason why you haven't seen any content from me. And the second reason was, man, I've been out of the country. Me and my family, we went away. We caught some flights and went away for a little while. And I was intending on doing some content while I was overseas, but ended up just just locking in with the family, man, and giving them my total undivided attention, man. And we had a good time, man. We had a good time. It was definitely needed. It was something that, my kids enjoyed. My wife definitely enjoyed. It was our anniversary, so we did it big a little bit. But I'm back, man, and I have a great topic that I want to discuss. And I actually had this conversation with the pilot. He was a private jet pilot that happened to be staying at the same resort that we were staying in. So we got a chance to meet and talk, and we had a long discussion, and I thought it would be something good to share with you guys because it was, like I said, it was pretty intense, man. We talked, me and this guy talked for about an hour and a half, man. And I didn't even, I never met the guy before, but he was interested in some of the things I did. We started talking about what we do, and I'm asking him about planes and stuff like that because I'm flying back and things like that. So he works for what would be considered the third largest airline. It's a private jet company, so he deals with high end clients. And there's some of the things that he talked about he learned from his clients propelled him financially. So it kind of got me, like I said, to talk about the specific topic, and I promise I'll be brief. And the title of it would be Walk with the Wise and Change Your Conversation. And I got about 5 points, right? But the title is Walk with the Wise and Change Your Conversation. And the first point I wanted to make, and I have some points over here, so if I'm going back and forth, I got a couple of screens and things going. It says your circle matters. And what happens is, man, a lot of times we tend to gravitate towards people that are similar, that have similar ideas, similar approaches to life, similar success trajectories, and things like that. And that's cool, right? I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. For close relationships, I think there has to be a lot of similarities, right? For you to be considered a friend, we have to kind of really be going in the same direction. I'm a believer, so I would want my close friends to be believers and things like that. But when it comes to a circle is not just made up of your close friends, right? You have a business circle, you have a business team, you have a network, you have, all of these different circles that are in your life. And I think when it comes to your networking circle, right, your business circle, you need to be with people that are further ahead than you and some people that are behind you that you're pulling along, right? And they don't necessarily need to agree with you. Like, if you're a conservative, I don't think you should only hang around with conservative minded people. I think you should hang around with some liberal minded people in order to see things from a different point of view, vice versa. If you're a liberal minded or a liberal leaning person, not to bring it back to politics, I think you need to have some conservative friends around you. If you have somebody that's strong in finances and you're well inept as far as your ability to make money, produce money, but you have no real system for what to do with it after you make it, then you need to really put yourself around the people that can help you and can uh stretch the way you think. I don't think we are supposed to live in what you call echo chambers. I think you need to be outside your comfort zone. I don't want anybody around me that thinks just like me, right? Like I said, we need to have some agreement if we're going to have close friendship and walk together, but I need people that stretch me. I need people that are going to push me in different directions. And like I said, expand what I think about certain topics because my knowledge is limited. I only been on this earth for a limited number of years. And there's a lot more for me to learn. And there's some things for me to unlearn, right? So my circle matters. Your circle matters. You got to make sure you put yourself around people that think differently, that sometimes look differently, that have a different opinion, a different methodology, and all of these things, so you can tap into what's working. Not necessarily, don't put yourself around people that are not performing, that are not working, right? That they're gonna kind of, maybe some of their bad habits will rub off on you. But things that are performing that you want to learn, navigate your way into those circles in order to stretch yourself and be able to do those things that you say you want to do. The second point is be both a Paul and a Timothy, right? And I'm kind of explaining this a little bit, which I said in the previous point is you want some people that are further ahead of you and some people that are behind you. Now, Paul was Timothy's mentor, if you will. Paul was the person who was raising Timothy in the ministry and the things of God, right? And Paul was further ahead, pouring back into Timothy. And I think in both relationships, we have to be both people, right? And what I mean by that is this: somebody, you need to be the Timothy to a Paul. You need to have a mentor, a coach, a person that's ahead of you that can pour into you the things that you're going to need to be successful. And on the opposite end, you also need to be a Paul to a Timothy. You need to be pouring the information you have into somebody that's a little bit further behind you, because this information is supposed to be cycled, right? Meaning the information you get, you're supposed to share, but you're supposed to share it with the right people. We talked about that before. He who has ears to hear, let him hear, right? So you have to present yourself in both realities, right? In order to truly be successful in life, you have to be both a Paul and a Timothy. Number three, listen more than you speak when you're around people that are more developed than you. A lot of people go into rooms, right, with and I see it a lot. And I was one of those people where you go into a room with people that are very knowledgeable, that are very successful, and you want to prove that you belong there. So you tend to speak up a lot and share your opinions and your thoughts and ideas. And it's cool, right, to have a voice. I'm not telling you not to have a voice, but the reality of the situation is they're further along than you. So you should be listening twice, three times as much as you're actually speaking. You need to be soaking up that information. I don't think that room is a specific place. When you're the leader, right, and you're the go-to person, and you're in the Paul role, yes, you're gonna do more talking than you are listening. But when you're in the room with your Paul and you're in that Timothy position and you're around those successful, knowledgeable people that you're pulling from, don't take that time to show them how good you are. Let them know that you need them and you need their advice, and you're going to do what you're supposed to do when they give you the advice. Because one thing successful people hate doing is giving advice to people that are not going to take it and make the most of it, because time matters to them. That's one of the reasons why a lot of people go into business and start these ventures and make money work for them and residual income. It's really to buy back time, right? Money's a needed resource, right? But time is the most valuable resource. So you have to make sure that when you're in those rooms, man, you do a lot less talking than you would normally do if you were in the Paul position. So listen more than you speak. The fourth point I want to give you is to develop inside out. We hear the old adage, look the part, and fake it till you make it, and all these things that I don't specifically subscribe to. I'm more of the opposite. I believe you develop inside out, right? And what I mean by that is become successful on the inside. See yourself as successful, see yourself walking out those dreams, those visions, right? Develop the knowledge, the skill set, all of those things on the inside. And once you have it on the inside, it'll begin to produce on the outside, or produce in the reality of what you see in everyday life, right? If you feel like you're a millionaire on the inside, but you only have $5 in the bank, but you think, you act like, you conduct yourself like, you read the books, you do all the work from an internal standpoint, it's only a matter of time before your bank account reflects what you're inside already showing. And it'll give you the necessary stamina and ability to not only get it, but to sustain it and maintain the success that you say you want. So always develop inside out. It's the best way to develop, because the Bible says out of the abundance of the heart the mouth speaks. So it's only you only can produce what's inside of you. You only can reproduce what's inside of you, right? A seed can only produce after its own kind, right? If I take an apple seed and I put it into the ground, it's an apple seed on the inside, right? I mean, on the inside, it's an apple tree, but it's in apple seed form. So you put it in the ground, and then it's going to develop into what we know to be an apple tree. So on the inside, it's already equipped and capable to do what eventually we're going to see and the world's going to acknowledge through it forming an apple tree. So develop on the inside first, right? Because if you don't and you start looking the part, you're going to put yourself in positions to either attract or maintain some, or attract or be possibly given something that you can't maintain, which is the worst form of success that you could possibly have. To have something that you can't maintain or you can't reproduce. Um, and then the fifth point is seek new insight and information. Understand that there's a concept of being called a forever learner, right? And I subscribe to that. You will never arrive when it comes to knowing enough about anything. You'll be able to have enough information to get by, to be proficient and things like that, but you always are supposed to seek out new information, new ideas, new ways to grow and develop because you're a forever work in progress. You know, we go from faith to faith, from glory to glory, and things like that from a believer standpoint. But even from a natural standpoint, you start at entry level, then you move to mid level, then you move to senior level, then you move to the next position at entry level, and vice versa. There's always more to do, there's always more room to grow, there are always more hills and mountains to climb, right? Once you accomplish one thing, you should set yourself up to look at what's the next goal. You know, I mean, Kevin Hart has this, he had the title called What's Next, right? You did all these things, but what's next? You always have to have a what's next mindset and prepare yourself for that next stage of growth or development, whatever that may look like for you. But always seek new insight and information. And finally, I have a scripture that I'm going to, not close with, but I'll finish with. And it's Proverbs 13, chapter 13, verse 20. And it says, he who walks as a companion with wise men will be wise, but the companions of conceited, dull-witted fools are fools themselves and will experience harm. You'll be successful if you keep yourself in the company of successful people. Why? Because again, you'll start to model yourself and you'll be able to analyze some of the steps you take, right? And you'll be able to see some of the mishaps and also see some of the positive things that are in your life. And walking with people that are doing in life what you aspire to do will give you the necessary information, potentially the resources to accomplish that. But to be around conceited, dull-witted fools will produce a fool in you because you'll begin to, we sometimes, not always, it's not always the case, but for the majority of the time, we are the company we keep. And you have to ask yourself, if you're always around people that are not accomplishing their goals, that are being foolish, that are making simple minded moves, are you really setting yourself up for success? Does your circle look like the life you want? And you have to ask yourself these questions because your circle is very important. So walk with the wise and change your conversation. And in changing your conversation, you'll start to act different, which will then change your results, man. So again, I'm back. I'm happy to be on American soil and things like that. And I did miss doing this, man. So got some calls to make, a meeting to run to. But once again, this is Andrew Sims with the Sims Consulting Group. Walk wise and change your conversation, man. Peace.